This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The Trippers, the Grasshoppers, the Hip Ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Ranger Casella standing by. We'll take caller 9844999. Ola will play profile this in minutes. And we do have headlines on the way 1 hour from now. First, quick check into Mike Hawk for some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, a new study found that only a quarter of men are growers and not showers.
Thank you, Mike. Only a quarter. So most everyone's a shower. What you see is what you get.
It means their junk grows an average of 2 inches or more when they're aroused. For the other 74% of men, their junk only grows an average of 1.2.
I needed to know that.
Now you know, I'm going to, but now I'm going to do a measurement.
Right, now I got to do it before and after.
I feel like you get more than 2 inches, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like flaccid, it's just this little thing that I'm just here to pee, but when you're aroused, it's like the Incredible Hulk.
I'm going to pick out my dates better in the shower in the gym now. You know what I mean? Now that I know.
Sure.
Turn the water on warmer. You'll just look better.
And what counts as a good starting measurement? Because it doesn't stay the same size always.
Not always, but your average. What? Try it in the winter, try it in the summer. You'll get your mean average between the two, right?
When you take your penis selfies, you'll have a better side than the other, I think.
True enough.
Yeah, mine is underneath.
All right, let's just keep this going. A new vagina beer just went on sale in Poland.
Vagina beer?
Vagina beer. Apparently, the brewers took the, quote, vaginal lactic acid of hot underwear models and used it as an ingredient to brew the beer.
This is going to turn out to be a bunch of crap.
Can you see why I'm not working on this?
Yeah. There was a woman, I want to say last year, she took the yeast from vaginas and used that as the yeast in the... and I don't think it sold well.
No.
Because she told people.
Head for the mountains
of bush. Beer.
Yeah, it's still a bodily fluid. It's still disgusting.
Look, man, the carbonation in your beer is farting yeast.
Right. Exactly.
So you're okay with farting yeast. You know what? You're right, man.
Ugh. A 22-year-old in Indiana got bogus scam message. Oh, never mind. We just covered that during the shot of the day. A video of a 20-year-old grocery store worker. We don't collaborate these stories.
It's fair to go through the story because we were up against the time.
Exactly. Okay, you know what? I'll just run it here real fast. A 22-year-old in Indiana got a bogus scam message on his phone last Wednesday that said he was being monitored by the FBI, and he thought it was real, so he drove to a police station and turned himself in for downloading child pornography.
The thing is, so it's some scam that goes, but it actually shut off his phone, okay? So the message popped up, so the FBI, we're monitoring your whatever. And I'm sure this virus, it popped up anytime you downloaded anything. That's what he was doing. All right, so he gets this message. To his credit, he's like, the hell with it. I'm just going to turn myself into the cops. He goes in, says, I'm downloading child porn. They're all looking at each other like, is he messing with us? So they managed to get his phone back on, all right? Okay. And when they turn his phone on, it resumes the current download.
Oh, he was in the middle.
He was in the process when that thing popped up, but also when they went through his history, he had a couple more videos on that.
Dang.
Yep.
Dang. Mm-hmm. A video of a 20-year-old grocery store worker in Baton Rouge letting an autistic kid help him stock shelves went viral this week. Now the kid's family has raised over $90,000 online to help put the man through college.
Very cool.
Damn, that's cool.
That's good. It's your only feel-good story of the day. Enjoy it. Apple became America's first trillion-dollar company yesterday.
Trillion with a T.
When their stock passed $207.05. And if you've invested $10,000 in Apple back when the Mac came out in 1984, it would be worth $3.8 million.
That's a lot of money.
Damn. Right. $10,000 was a lot of money back in the 80s.
Sure.
It is now.
It is now. That's a fact. My grandparents bought their first house for like $6,800.
Doesn't that piss you off?
Yes.
Oh, we bought this house. It was, and it's four digits.
They pay that much in taxes now.
That's right. Let's see. It says here are some of the best fast food items you can get for $1 or less, according to Thrillist.com.
Okay.
Burger King's cheeseburger.
The regular basic cheeseburger?
Yeah,
that's a good. That's
2 buns
choice.
of patty and cheese.
Nothing wrong with that.
McDonald's McChicken. Fantastic. It's a solid sandwich.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially when combined with a McDouble. What do they call that?
You put it together.
I think they call that a McNasty. I don't know.
McNasty. Give me a McNasty for lunch, please.
Sheila.
No. You're not on break yet? Okay.
A White Castle cheese slider.
Cheese slider.
That's a buck?
Slider?
How can a hamburger at Burger King be $1 and a little teeny slider at White Castle be the same price?
Higher quality meat there, I guess, Miles.
I would think
Yeah,
Burger
sure.
King would.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, they take the 5 holes out of it.
And Jimmy John's day old bread. I would take that. Their bread is fantastic. Jimmy John's day old bread. They don't serve you the bread for sandwiches the next day. They will make you fresh bread every day.
Oh, I got it. It's kind of like you with spaghetti.
So you can go
That's right.
and get a 6-pack of buns?
I guess. I don't know. I've never done it before, but you can go and get their bread.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
Give me your buns.
A sunflower farm in Ontario, Canada opened up to people who wanted to take Instagram photos a few weeks ago, but they wound up causing so much mass destruction and chaos that the farm had to ban all visitors.
That many people. I mean, if you said, hey, we can take pictures of sunflowers, they're like, yeah, we could. Guess what we're not going to do?
Right. Let that just be a lesson that people suck. They can't be trusted to take a picture without destroying the area because they're going to trample everywhere else.
Well, the picture's the most important thing. People fall off cliffs and die for the picture.
It's just
Stupid. It's about the picture.
Can we think beyond ourselves like once?
No.
Again, as my kids say, picture or it didn't happen.
Or it didn't happen.
I love that.
According to an annual study, the most dog-friendly cities in America are Tucson, Albuquerque, Las Vegas, San Francisco, and San Diego.
I was shocked Seattle wasn't on there, but then it was explained, like, look, you can take your dog into surgery with you in the city of Seattle,
yes.
But if you try to go to a park, you're right. People freak out.
Beach.
You can't take your dog to the beach. Take him to the grocery store.
Exactly.
I think it's a little ass backward,
We
but what
have
can you do?
specific parks for dogs.
It's called a dog park. You know, where the crackheads shoot up.
Airbnb is holding a contest where you can win free night stay on the Great Wall of China.
Damn.
You stay on the Great Wall?
It says a free night stay on the Great Wall of China. I don't
That's
know
what
where.
I would just like to go see it. I don't necessarily know. I want to, like Statue of Liberty. Always wanted to spend the night there.
Right.
Like, I mean,
I feel like, you know,
And
as a former homeless guy, when you advertise stuff like that, it's like, done it. You know, like, if I'm like, oh, you can sleep on the Great Wall of China.
yeah, but you slept on the Great Wall at Elliott Drive.
But where on the Great Wall is there like a hotel? Hotel Great Wall.
There
You know,
are some parts of the wall that are so massively thick. You could. I don't think it's like a hotel that you could.
Great Wall Marriott.
We got a Spring Hill Suites here.
That's exactly what they pictured when they
Doubletree.
built it.
It's not the major one. It's not like a Marriott, but
Right.
it's like, an executive
There's the
suite,
Great Wall
plaza,
Hilton.
garden, something.
Great Wall Hilton. Yeah.
They'll call it the
We
same
got a
crap.
pool out. Oh, God. The Space Needle in Seattle is unveiling the world's first ever revolving glass floor.
I've seen pictures of it, man, and it rotates like once every 45 minutes, so it's not like this.
So it's just like the rest of the Space Needle.
The idea is that you get one rotation the amount of time that you should be able, in theory, to sit down and have a delicious meal.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see.
But some people don't, and they take forever, and they cause a traffic jam. A bar in Chicago is serving Spam-infused Mai Tais this month.
Thanks,
Salty.
bar.
Spam-infused Mai Tais.
Do you think they do these things like, look, I bet, because look, like the pet rock and stuff where you say, hey, I bet you can take something stupid, tell people that it's temporary, and they're going to love it.
Let me tell you something. This is one thing I figured out about Chicago, all right? Chicago is, in the culinary world, the equivalent of the upper-end fair food. So, like, that's the best way I can describe it. Like, San Francisco is known for its food.
Right.
New York is known for its food.
One more thing about the Spam Mai Tai.
I'm telling you right now, like, they serve like a drink that's frozen with, funfetti in it and a piece of cake on top, 7 strips of bacon, and just like, it's just this.
It's still the Midwest.
more they can put on it, man. I mean, I was blown away by Chicago food. I'm like, this is fair food on steroids.
It is not served in a glass. You drink it straight out of the can.
I mean,
Can of Spam Mai Tai.
thank you, Chicago.
A passenger leaving out of Manchester is being regarded as the worst passenger ever.
Why is that?
I'll tell you all about it 1 hour from now.
Thank you, Mike Hawk. Headlines are on the way 1 hour from now. First, the game is...
The Men's Room presents Profile
And
This.
Stephen Throwhill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Ken. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola! All right, Ken, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic. Let's go to everybody's penis-shaped state, Florida. In this case, in one of the more vile episodes to recently transpire inside of a 7-Eleven, a Florida man dumped a bucket containing human poop and human pee inside of the convenience store in St. Petersburg. Now, investigators say the man, who's 41 years old, he arrived around 1:30 a.m., which you know this if you go to 7-Eleven. We call that the witching hour. Then he proceeded to what they say unleash a slurry of human waste on the floor of the business. Now, the liquid splashed on merchandise valued at $28. He obtained the waste from a portable toilet. That's right. The man took the waste from the spouted pot nearby, brought it to 7-Eleven. Now, in late May, he was accused of trespassing at the same 7-Eleven, and then he returned on this particular evening just to dump the human poop and pee on the floor. And, of course, the whole thing was recorded on the security cameras. So he's been charged with trespass and criminal mischief, both misdemeanors. He's being held in the county jail in lieu of $300 bond. But upon his release, he's been barred from having contact with the 7-Eleven or the store manager. And by the way, in case you're wondering, he's a convicted felon. He has a lengthy rap sheet and includes convictions for burglary, weapons possession, grand theft, animal cruelty, disorderly intoxication, loitering, drunk driving, and carrying a concealed weapon without that pesky permit. Do you believe that this lovely, hygienic gentleman is black, white, Mexi, or Asian?
So how old was he?
41 years old.
He's 41 years old. Okay. I don't know. Let me hear it from the peanut gallery. What do you think first there, Miles?
Rap sheet like that and $300 bond, he's white.
Yeah, that's a really good point, too. I didn't even think about it like that. I was thinking rap sheet that long, dude might be a brother.
I don't think this is a different type of Scatman Crothers.
Yeah, that's a good point. You raise a good solid point there, especially with such a low bond.
Not to mention that he grabbed a bucket full of porta potty waste.
Yeah,
just to dump it on the 7-Eleven floor.
That's right.
All right, Ken, what are you thinking?
All right, you know what? I think I'm just going to go with your suggestion, and we'll go with white and see what happens.
We're going to find out if he was black, white, Mexican, or Asian next.
That was a tease.
You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Profile this takes us to the great state of Florida. Florida man dumps a bucket, 5-gallon style of poop and pee on the floor of a 7-Eleven. Miraculously, he did not do that much damage to the goods in there.
Only $28. When it's splattered, only $28 worth of merchandise got some of the...
Nothing got on the big bites or anything like that.
Well, we don't know what it got on, Miles. It could have hit the hot dog roller, but there's only $28 in there. I'm assuming it's like gum or candy bars or whatever's up front. I'm trying to make myself... It could hit the Slurpee machine, the cups, went to the donut thing. I don't know. But either way, it wasn't his own feces and pee. He went to a local honey bucket / porta potty, and it was everyone else's poop and pee. But Ken, he ended up dumping it on the floor, and we asked you, did you believe that this guy was black, white, Mexican, or Asian? And I love hearing people as they theorize on things, and you said, look, I'm thinking black just for the reason that the guy had a super long rap sheet. If you're a black dude, you're going to get arrested, right? So that made sense. And then Miles chimed in with like, yeah, he has a long rap sheet, but based on what he did, it was only a $300 bond. And that got your gears churning. And in the end, you went with Miles, generally based on that theory, saying, yeah, maybe it's a white guy. And that was your answer. Well, guess what? Oh! You are correct, sir.
There we go. Very good. Yeah.
I like how the price of the bond is, and actually this is true. So Ted and I have both been arrested on separate occasions, okay? My bond was not that much to get out, okay? Ted's was actually extraordinarily high. Now, the difference was this happened in Baltimore, Maryland, and even when Ted asked about it at the time, he said, wait a minute, there's guys in here for, as he hears their crimes, considerably worse than I did. He said the clerk looked right at him and said, you're white, man, we assume you got money. Bam, $6,000. I mean, they were straight up about it, like, you got money, that brother doesn't.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
That was actually pretty good.
I tried. Mm-hmm. I still can't quite hit the exact tone that he gets.
Yeah, he gets pretty high.
Gentlemen, I am proud to announce that the greatest season of television is back. We experienced it just this last week. Oh, dang. Sorry, that thing is moving all over the place.
Blame it on the mic.
I'm trying to situation myself here. Football's back.
Yeah.
Yes!
All right.
The Ravens had a game against a team I don't care about last night. I completely forget.
Chicago Bears.
Chicago, that's who it was.
Turns
That's why I
out
don't
our
remember.
third string is 1 point better than their third
I was in the
string.
car driving. I couldn't actually watch it, but
You know what? It doesn't matter. I know it's preseason, and even it was the Hall of Fame game, which makes
Right.
it even less preseason-y, if you know what I mean. But I realized, and I said this to Miles because we stopped at a bar at one point just to catch it. It was on when the show ended. And it's stupid, and this team drives me crazy, and they severely pissed me off last year. As soon as you see your team's logo, and it's inexplicable. You have no control over what they do. It is what it is. It's a business. As soon as you see your team's logo, it's just on, man. And that good feeling came creeping back, and I'm like, I'm in a good place.
You
right
get that
now.
strong sense of pride. You get that old fire back that you.
And then,
And then the games count. And you
And
start
then-
screaming at your television.
Yeah, see, when the games count, things change. But I get home, and the game's ending, and I watch, the last 5 minutes. And my son's like, is that the Ravens? I said, yeah, man. And I missed part of the game, so NFL Network did a replay, and I put it back on.
Yeah. So I'm with the misfortune of where my team doesn't play until this coming Thursday, but I'm still holding out. We are finally under a week away. So I am stoked.
Where do you and I know season hasn't started, prediction for your Seattle Seahawks, what do you think the record is?
For the end of the season,
Because you're blogging about, you're on it, and you
Yep.
are the biggest Seahawks fan here. Right?
I had a good talk with our buddy Sean that works here in the building.
Okay, yeah.
And
Marshawn, as we call him.
Marshawn, that's absolutely right. And I'm very confident that the team that we put together is going to at least get us into the playoffs. But the thing is that when we get to the playoffs, it's unpredictable at that point. I don't know.
I got to ask you
But-
one question.
Okay.
We in theory, because this is the worst possible case scenario.
Okay.
But it's a
asked him about it.
hypothetical. All right. All right. We know how this works.
Right.
As Ravens fans, we've been through our pain before as well, especially with an injured quarterback. Right. You've got a guy who has never had a very good blocking
Right.
his entire career. He runs in circles. He's a magician. He does an amazing job. If something happens to him, one thing happens to that guy, what's your prediction?
If Russell Wilson goes down,
Do you know who the
game-
backup quarterback is?
Mike Davis.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
a single bell ring in my head.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's because he doesn't ever get to play because he's got Russell Wilson starting for him.
Yeah.
Mike Davis taking over, I'm actually fairly confident with that.
Okay.
All right.
Can you
I
go?
think he's a good player.
My only thing is, that,
Yeah.
look,
You gotta
there's a
run-
lot
you
of
gotta
great
run for your
quarterbacks,
life.
but
Right.
every year we kind of chuckle and say Russell Wilson's one of the best scrambling quarterbacks. I'm like, if you were behind that offensive line, you would be one of the best scramblers.
Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't have a choice. He says one Mississippi and 4 guys are in the back.
Right.
You
I
know
haven't
how-
I haven't seen his scrambling method. I do know that we have beefed up the offensive line a little bit this
Okay,
season.
all right.
We kind of went the way of the 49ers as they did last year, where it's kind of a big rebuild. We cleaned house in the offseason. We're coming back, and now we're gonna see how it
Okay.
ends. But the thing that Sean said that I think was very profound is that we may very well likely get picked off in the playoffs, but it's a lot like the team that you saw in 2010 where you will see an increase of talent.
Okay,
You're not going
okay,
to
I
see
got you. As they
we
gel.
barely made it, and okay, let's see who we can beat. But we're actually, we're on the way up. Let's see here. So anyway, football is back. We did get that. We got that game, and we got a taste of the new targeting rule.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 46, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
That was Nick Orr.
Nick or
And that
who?
creates a first and goal.
It doesn't matter now if you drop your head where you hit the opposing player. It's no longer the head and neck area, all that stuff. If you drop your head to make a hit, it can be in the stomach and the ribs and the thigh.
So
Translation: get ready to be plowed over.
exactly. So if you
Guys
wanna-
are going to get brutalized.
If
Oh
you
my
want to
God.
see that hit, you can find it up on the Men's Room Facebook page. The official rule is that it is a foul if a player lowers his head to initiate and make contact with his helmet against an opponent.
And we all understand the extenuating circumstances. We watched part of that game. Now, one thing to understand, okay? One thing to understand, even with the officiating. They're going to be super hard on everything, especially it's one of these new rules, and they do it during the preseason. My brother's an NFL official, so he's like, look, we have to call all this
Hammer it,
stuff.
right.
Part of the reason we do it, part of it is muscle memory for the players. So when they get used to, okay, they'll just change their tack. The other thing is that they do, believe it or not, they're going to review every single time they've called that, okay? So part of the reason they're going to call it more than they will in the regular season is they want as much tape as they can get. And believe it or not, the NFL will take the time to say, okay, listen, man, the rule is the rule, but it's like pass interference, okay? You could call it on any play, just like holding, pass interference, whatever. All this stuff happens. Let's figure out the level where we'll let it go. So a lot of these guys are getting penalized now, and they're pissed about it. But it's like, listen, man, they're doing it when the games don't count because they're guinea pigging it because they don't want to hamstring you. The officials don't want to do that, and they understand that in a collision sport, it is your nature to kind of tuck your head because you instinctively want to protect it. Okay?
Right.
They do get it. But they said, look, what we'll do is we get as many of these as we can. They will go through the tape. And what you'll find is they get a little more lenient as the year goes on.
Right.
That's really the purpose of doing this.
I do see the comments flowing in, so I do need to make a retraction here. Mike Davis is actually one of my favorite running backs of the Seahawks.
Oh, Jesus.
Our backup quarterback is Austin Davis.
He would be good to run around in circles if they need him.
That's right. He's actually a fantastic running back. So anyway, football's back. I'm very excited. I can't wait for the season to get started. I can't wait for the preseason to get started just so I can finally get back into that mindset.
Just hearing the music, hearing the announcers, all the crap, it makes it better.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about Oprah's sex life.
No. Why?
I'm down
What do we do,
I'm down with
man?
it. I'm down with it.
All right.
So I was,
Give her the big O.
scanning through material. She was at O Magazine headquarters, and she was doing a Q&A with some of her fan base, and someone asked what her ideal date is, and we got this for an answer.
What is my perfect date night with Stedman, she wants to know. Well, I am a really good cook. And the wonderful thing about Stedman is, in all the years that I've been cooking for him, Rachel, no matter what it is, even if it's a piece of toast. Like the other day I made an English muffin, and he's like, where did you get this English muffin?
He wants your money.
And I'm like, it's an English muffin. So he is delighted with anything that I make. So my favorite date night is to make him black-eyed peas and cornbread as a surprise for dinner. And then, honey, hush. That's all you need. Little black-eyed peas, cornbread. That's it. Perfect date night. Me cooking, and then it's on.
That's a true black man. Most people say chocolate, oysters. It's like black-eyed peas and cornbread. I want to get me some of that.
The cornbread's a little heavy, but yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess you carb load up a little bit there.
Hey, man, burning calories.
Right.
I just like that the true way to that man's heart is through his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do, make him something, and the lights are turning on.
Black eyed peas are strong.
I know they've been together forever, okay? Yep. I know they've been together forever. They're used to each other. They understand what it is. And to him, Oprah is just the woman he's with, not the Oprah we know. Of
course.
But at some point, it still has to be weird, to be sitting there, and they're like, here's Oprah, right? Probably the most powerful woman in the goddamn universe. And like, she's cooking me cornbread and black-eyed peas, man, because she wants some of this. She wants some Stedman D.
I don't know that I've ever had black-eyed peas, but I am a fan of cornbread.
Everybody's a fan of cornbread.
Oh, you would love black-eyed peas.
I think you actually would.
Oh, yeah. Black-eyed peas, you can serve them. Black-eyed peas and kale's good.
Are they any different than just the regular peas that I've had?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Completely. No, they're not peas.
They're not. Well, then why do they call them peas?
I mean...
Look, man, and part of it's the difference in preparation. Mike, one thing that you can, if it's soul food, right, if it's from the South, it's going to be good. Mm-hmm. And it's not that the food, quote unquote, is like good, but how they choose to cook everything. It's just ridiculously good. But that said,
a lot of butter.
If you are worried about your health, don't eat Southern food because they don't care about your health.
Mm-hmm. They're eating to eat.
That is a fact.
That is it.
That is a fact. Ray Romano was on Fallon here recently. Anybody here been under anesthesia?
Yeah,
sure.
Many times.
I have never gone under myself.
Oh, really? Oh, it's weird, man.
It's odd.
My sister described it. She went in for a gallbladder surgery, and she described it. They started to wheel her out, and then the next thing that she remembers is getting wheeled back in. But I remember having half a conversation with her, waved goodbye.
Look, it's honest to God, it is like you died. People eliminated any minute because they'll say count backwards from 10. I don't know anyone that's made it to 1.
Right,
and I'm getting to 7 or something. And when you wake up, it is like it's the next day. People tell you all of these things have happened, but you don't. There's just no sense of it.
Here's something else that's amazing about it. And when I got my bionic butthole done, right?
Yes,
I was out for a while. So basically, like, all right, well, you're going to count back, and you're like, we're going to count back to 10. You're like, you're 10. I mean, like, and you're out, right? Mm-hmm. But you wake up, and much like when you go to sleep, your body has a pretty good idea of what's going on with your body.
Sure.
So depending on how long the surgery is, the first thing that happens when you wake up is immediately you've got to sprint to go pee.
Oh, yeah.
Because for whatever reason,
You've just been holding on to
you've been
everything.
holding it the whole time, even though you're out of it. You know, your body knows enough
got the
not to pee.
catheter and all that.
No, you don't have a
You
catheter.
forget that the catheter's there.
Yeah, I didn't have a
I had a
catheter.
catheter, and I'm like, oh, my.
Yeah,
Oh,
but you're still,
my.
but you have to force yourself to go if you have that. You know?
Well, the problem with the catheter, when I had the catheter, I've only had one once, you can't tell when you're peeing. You kind of always feel like you're peeing.
just got
right?
the drip.
So you'd kind of look. But again, and I've said this before, the only thing about a catheter, and you've had one, if you're a guy, you know this, you don't realize how much air has built up in your penis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So when they remove it and you go to the bathroom, honest to God, dude, no, not. And it's about 24 hours. Dude, when I got over the initial shock.
There's a fetish for that.
Because you're
That'd be
just
terrifying.
stuck. You're just stuck in a hospital room. You can't do anything. You're weak, whatever. So you're just laying there. And what I would do to like once every 5 minutes, I just push on my penis and.
Oh, God.
Dude, there's nothing else.
It's like when you get to the end of a whipped cream can.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So anyway, Ray Romano's mother went in for surgery, and what does she do after she wakes up?
She had her hip replaced. We were in the hospital. My two brothers. I have two brothers. I have a younger brother, Robert, older brother, Richard. And we were there, and she was coming out of anesthesia. And the doctor came in, and they try to see if she's fully out of anesthesia. So he's asking her questions. So he said, Lucy, how many kids you have? And she said 4. So she only has 3. So so she's still a little loopy. And then the doctor says, what are their names? And she said, Richard, and Richard. 4 Richards. 4 Richards. I just thought, if she's going to name 4 names, one of them can't be the guy who bought her a house. How about the guy who bought the hip? How about that guy? That guy can't get a shout-out?
I never gotten the gas, but I want to give it a go.
What is the difference? And I don't know. You see videos a lot, and so you can be under anesthesia at a regular hospital. It is what it is, right? You're dopey. You're stupid. People that go to the dentist, right, get like a tooth extracted, and you see these people in the car, and it's a much different experience that they seem to have than other people.
Oh, yeah.
They feel like their nipples are crying. And I mean, but they but they can't get past it. Like it is devastating.
I've heard it hits different people differently.
You don't even know.
Ah.
Like, I had 3 nurses trying to hold me up because I was getting out of my bed and I wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
So I stood up and I'm like, I gotta pee. And I just like whipped open my gown and I was reaching for a cup, and then they bring me in like this hook-shaped Tupperware container.
It's hard to pee in that thing.
And I'm losing my balance. I'm like, I've got it, ladies. And I'm realizing like I just don't care. Like, I've got it out. I'm dropping it in the I don't. And I filled up 1.5 of those.
Oh no!
I had to run and give me another one. I had to come.
Oh God!
There are the last time I was actually in a hospital for a surgery. I'm sharing a room with another guy, but I can't see him. They have the curtain drawn, and I don't know what his deal was. But man, this dude had diarrhea all night. But you can just hear it hitting the bedpan. And keep in mind, he's only like 5 feet away, and he kept. I know his name's Tony because someone came to visit him, but he kept. That's what he said. He just yells to the curtain. He's like, "I'm sorry, man," and I'm trying to be cool. So I said, "Hey, man, I get it, but." If you can stop, please do.
You can hold it.
It smelled so bad. I'm like, oh my God.
Well, there's no water to mask the smell.
There's nothing, man.
Straight pan.
It was horrible.
It's like you're baking brownies and you're pouring in the batter into a greased glass pyro. Damn. Thank you, Mike. We appreciate it. Very good. And Mike's going to stick around. Headlines on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go as we go to the Windy City, where man will listen to Saturday in the Park, never again. Meanwhile, a drunk mom is labeled the worst airline passenger ever as she punches a flight attendant in the jimmy and kicks him in the shin. We go to Boston, where the Ducks beats a car 1-0. Over 100 goats are wandering in Boise, Idaho that some want to kill. And a college student learns why there is a hole in her ceiling. It is not what you think. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
Oh, hello. Our top story, a passenger leaving out of Manchester is being regarded as the worst passenger ever.
Ever?
On her way to the airport, the woman downed a half a bottle of wine, then made her way to the airport bar where she had 2 shots of vodka before boarding the plane.
That's called getting on a plane.
While in flight, the woman ordered a gin and tonic and then proceeded to punch the attendant in his groin.
Oh, yeah. See, that's where I stopped.
Leaving him in, quote, intense pain.
I bet he was. England gets it done when they go on holiday, man. They just absolutely.
Because it's holiday.
Obviously. Boy, they go through. Man,
I did hit a flight attendant with a magazine once, but to be fair, she'd hit me first.
She had basically an empty bottle of vodka and a travel-on bag.
Right. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
so
she just pounded the whole thing, and she was drinking to the bar there too.
So is she on holiday or afraid to fly?
Holiday, man.
I mean, everybody popping pills in lines afraid to fly.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not.
Quote unquote afraid to fly.
They're drug addicts, all right? So,
some of them eat chocolate.
I get nervous to fly. I'm like, so you need 3 Xanax. Yeah. Okay.
It was snort this cocaine then.
I'm scared to fly.
It was then ordered that she would not be served any more drinks. She then continued to shout and scream on the plane repeatedly, telling attendants to F off. She then stood up and continued to scream during the descent. She was arrested after landing because that's not allowed.
Great flight.
In other news, a college student has been trying for weeks to solve the mystery of a random hole in her ceiling, but she finally has found the answer. The former tenants of the dorm came to visit their old room, and as she popped the question as to how the mysterious hole got in the ceiling. Turns out that it was a holiday gag that former students pulled when they didn't have any mistletoe to hang during the Christmas season. They ended up tying a bunch of hot dogs to their own individual strings and hanging them from the ceiling to create a vast forest of wieners.
Okay.
All right, guys. I'm glad we're
this?
paying for that education.
Look at that.
Hey, it's college, man. It's
whatever you do, man. We used to stack pizza boxes to each their own.
That's what I mean.
I just don't get how that's mistletoe. You don't just hang mistletoe from strings all over your place. You put it over a doorway. This is just like...
It's hot dog. Are you going to give them grief for Christmas hot dogs, man?
No, not if they just hung it over a door. It's like, that's my Christmas mistletoe wiener. Yeah. I'd be like, all right. But you just hung it around like, the toilet paper ghost for Halloween.
Mike, you know what I like about you? Like, you're the guy that someone becomes roommates with in college. And you go, look, man, he's a good guy, but he's very particular. So he accepted that we don't have mistletoe, so we hung up hot dogs. His problem is not that we hung up hot dogs. His problem is that, why didn't you hang up where the mistletoe goes? There's something I can appreciate about
I can understand that what you're going to do, but at least follow through, man. You can't call it mistletoe if you're just hanging it all over the place. Now that's 2 things that are offset. That's wrong all around.
So you can call a hot dog a mistletoe if you hang it in the right place.
Correct.
All right. That's what I've learned.
If you want to hang a bunch of mistletoe from strings all around the place and say that it's hot dogs, all right, I'll get on that. A man in Texarkana, we talked about him during the show today. He was faced with the difficult dilemma of needing to fly out of the state to see one of his favorite bands perform, so he did what any logical person would do. And police received a call about a man jumping the fence at Texarkana Regional Airport and making his way to the plane. Police eventually stopped the man as he was attempting to commandeer an American Eagle 44-seater jet to make it to the concert.
We never found out who.
He thought that he would just have to push a few buttons.
Look, man, I don't know much about flying a plane, all right? But I do know, one, it's more than pushing a few buttons. And even if you think it's a few buttons, do you know what the buttons do? Because there's a lot of buttons.
Okay, exactly.
And pull a few levers. Because, again, I know you got to pull some levers, but you need to know what they do.
Exactly.
Who do you think it is, Miles?
We got Miles.
We got Kenny Chesney.
Okay.
He was playing in Houston, Texas.
Okay, that's reasonable.
We have Harry Styles.
No way.
Former One Direction. Luke Bryan was in Boston.
He's not trying to fly to Boston. I'm going to say whatever's in Texas.
He didn't go to the Imagine Dragons.
Okay.
We know that. Maybe Journey. Journey played that night in Georgia, Smyrna, Georgia.
I do have here.
Smyrna.
It says that he planned to fly to another state so he could see a rap concert.
Oh, are you kidding? It was a rap concert.
It does say it right there. A rap concert.
All right. No,
okay.
you're right.
So I don't know who it was, but it was a rap show.
All right. Fair enough.
A man in St. Petersburg was kicked out of a local 7-Eleven. Never mind. We talked about him during the during profile this. A burglar back in Indianapolis seems to have been thwarted by the homeowner's pet. While the owners were away, the intruder smashed through the back window of the house, and authorities found evidence to suggest that he didn't make it far into the house before turning around and fleeing. Authorities are crediting the family's pet pig with scaring away the intruders.
Did you see
their pet pig?
Do you know the pig's name?
Oh,
Dumpling.
Shoot. That's right, Dumpling.
Dumpling? No, not Dumpling. There's no G.
Dumpling.
I'm saying it
Dumpling.
right. Dumpling.
All right.
I used to get Siri to call me Puddin' on my old phone, right? So, because you can type in what you want to say. The problem is pudding has 2 D's. When you take the G off, so I'd say, hey, Siri, yes, Puddin'.
Oh.
Puddin', God damn it. Puddin', not Puddin'.
That's why you got to change its spelling so that it says it perfectly.
My pudding.
Other than, footprints that turn around, they said that it was a couple weeks after the house was paid for. So how do they know that they didn't just turn around thinking, nope, there's nothing to steal in here? Why was it the pig that was obviously what turned these people around?
Man, if you break into someone's house, you might expect a dog, all right?
Yeah.
Cat's not going to do it. You might expect a dog. I just feel like somehow when you see a pig, you just go, you know what? I just don't need to be. Pigs, man, if they don't like you, if it determined it did not like that person and got aggressive, you would leave.
Yeah. All right. That's it for headlines. With that, Mike Hawk is out.
Mike, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it. All right, we'll see you next time. For your guess is as good as mine. A random question. Men's room rules, and we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day.
Yes, indeed. That is all true. But in the meantime, we be all up out this biatch. So until next time, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.